Hello, welcome back to another Kilsby-Steele video. Today I'm doing something a bit different, as normal, I guess. I never do the same thing over and over again. I am having a chat with my dad around what makes him want to climb, what made him, being a 60-year-old guy at the time, who's scared of heights and want to get on a wall. And we just kind of explore that and see where it goes. Enjoy. If you enjoy it, guys, please give it a like. It will really pump the algorithm. And I'll see you on the other side. I just wanted to chat to you about what you find, what you enjoy in climbing, why you like climbing, and where you're going from that. So I guess my first question is why do you actually? What is it that makes you climb?
I'm someone who has, when I first started, a little vertigo problem. I wasn't very good on edges, and didn't like flying, but I got over the flying by doing various courses and taking some psychotherapy, and then climbing with rope climbing particularly looked something that was challenging. So the first time I ever did climbing was going to Reading Climbing Centre, walked in the door and looked at the sheer size of those walls and thought, yeah, this will be a challenge. So it then turned into a bit of a challenge. And over the period of 4 or 5 years, I've done more rope climbing, done some outside, but bouldering is the one which I find most attractive because it's something that just takes you away from everything you're thinking about. It's relatively short to do one little section of bouldering, and you can't think of anything else other than climbing what's in front of you. And it's both a physical challenge and a mental challenge. So it's probably those two things together in a fun environment where you can just turn up and do it with a limited degree of skill, but actually a little bit of skill makes a world of difference as well. So you can improve. It's something you can see an improvement. Yeah. So it's always to feed a success or feed a feeling that you've achieved something.
Is it just about yourself, or is there other sort of reasons that you've kind of fell in love with climbing? Because you cycle and stuff like that. Is there more to it than just your own stuff?
Yeah, I'm a bit of a loner. Most of the sports I've done my whole life has been that I've most enjoyed is like running. I've always done running and cycling. And it's not in a group, it's just me going out and doing that. Bouldering and climbing, well, climbing with a rope, obviously you need someone else, and you have to give a lot of trust to them, and that works both ways. But bouldering, I think I like because you can do it by yourself, but you can also do it in a group. And the people, when you go to a bouldering centre in by yourself, people are just so sociable. Now, it could be that I look ancient and an old person bouldering is fairly unusual, and what's quite interesting is if I have to fall off and land, it's like people gather around you thinking you've broken 25 bones and you need to go to hospital because you're an old person, you're not supposed to fall off. So yeah, it's a good sport because you can do it by yourself or you can do it with people, and when you do it with people, they are people you trust. You have to trust them. So.
Got into climbing through me, and I think it's really helped our relationship. It's been something special that we've done. How, from your side of view, how's that seed?
We have a good relationship because as I've got older and wanted to do, thinking what was I going to do, you've introduced me to loads of things which I would never have dreamt to do. And climbing, I think, has been really good because it's something I would not have gone anywhere near without you introducing it. And you've helped me understand how to do it when I'm feeling quite under pressure, and because of that you value it, even if you don't do it explicitly. It bonds a relationship because I'm having to trust you so much in what you're asking me to do, and first time we went climbing, you're on the end of the rope and I'm about 3 feet off the ground and you're telling me to climb. Wouldn't have worked, but you introduced me to do it slowly and surely and step by step. And you realise you're halfway up the wall and you still freeze. I still need you to help me do things. And I think that just builds a bond. And it also just opens the door to going to do things. So instead of, say, just going for a cycle ride, you actually have an expedition. Even if you're going just to the local climbing centre, you've got to get things out, you've got to get the ropes, you've got to get this. And it makes you feel almost like a bit like an adventurer. You're going on an adventure, even though you're only driving 6 miles into the centre of Reading. And then you go and do something so different. and then you have a coffee, and then before long 2 hours have passed, and then you go and come home, you talk about it, and it's a bit like golf. You can remember every single move you did. Usually most of them are pretty bad, and you're getting exercise, and you're both doing it together. And I think initially you gave a lot of time to me, and then you because I was doing the climbing, I couldn't belay, and then you got me to start belay, which was probably more difficult for me than the climbing mentally,
Really?
because suddenly you realise, you are the safety around someone who's going up the wall. So not literally going up the wall. So we've done a lot around climbing till COVID set in, and we've done other things as well. So we've done projects in the garden. So you found a bit of space. We built a climbing wall. Now we wouldn't have. It was just something we could do together. I was more the brute force, and you were the person putting it together. But that in itself was a project because of climbing, and it still sits there, and we use it occasionally. So it sort of continues. It develops, unlike, say, just going cycling. There's only a limited amount you can do with cycling, or walking, that sort of thing. So it's a big sport that has lots of opportunities at many different levels, which has to involve a bond between the people doing it. So, and even things like going to watch climbing things. Where there was that thing we went to in Reading, where we've been to it twice, an annual event.
Oh, the film festival.
Film festival. You'd never go to a film festival of climbing unless you'd done a bit of climbing, and then you sit in awe watching it. So you sit in awe together, so you talk about it. So, and it's just fantastic. The scenery is fantastic. So I think, it's developed, and it can continue to develop. Like we went to France last year. We went to France to see places for 2 weeks, and got a bit spooked by COVID. Came back a bit early, but we made 2 days going to climb a cliff overlooking the River Seine, just south of Rouen. And the photos make it look like I'm climbing 100 meters. So there's nothing wrong with a good photo.